Thurles for tonight's draws in the FBD Insurance Counties Championships for 2024. We're live here from Lorna Parka, and over the next hour or so we'll bring you the draws for the Senior Hurling, Premier Intermediate and Intermediate Hurling Championships, and for the Senior Football, Intermediate Football and the new Premier Junior Championships. So we have lots to get through to tonight. It's going to be an entertaining night. We'll have lots to talk about. We have good panel members here joining us here as well. So we're looking forward to getting through the draws and bringing them all to you. And we can then look forward, obviously, to the championships as they come later on in the summer. First of all, I'm delighted to be joined tonight by Chairman of FBD Trust and, of course, representing our loyal and fantastic sponsors, FBD, Michael Berkery. Michael, you're welcome to Thurles tonight, and I'm sure you're looking forward to the draws.
Absolutely, and thanks, Jonathan. It's a night, I think, when we kick off football and hurling, the championships in Tipperary, and we look forward to summer sport, summer hurling and football. And again, from an FBD point of view, of course, we're delighted to continue to support this huge effort for the county board in the organisation of the championships, the officials and all that goes on behind the scenes to make it happen. And we had a brilliant year last year in hurling and football, and I look forward to, I think this year there's every reason why there'll be some surprises tonight, probably in the draw, and people will be happy with their opponents, and others will say it could have been a different draw, but that's how it is. That's what makes it a good competition and a challenging competition for all players. And again, we're delighted to be a part of that and to help out in the background in the organisation of the county championships for another year with Neo. We have our place in Nina, Thurles and Clonmel, obviously, so we're in right across the county, and our support is absolutely committed. But we get great value back, because the enjoyment I get and the enjoyment all our customers get, and indeed the whole organisation, from being associated with Premier Championships, is something that is very, very important for us.
And of course, your sponsorship is, you know, it's really, really appreciated, obviously, within Tipperary GAA, with our leagues, our championships. Of course, you're involved with FBD Simple Stadium, you know, so your commitment, FBD's commitment to the GAA and to community, I suppose, is really, really, you know, it's proven in what you're doing and the money that you are actually pumping into these things.
Well, thanks, Jonathan, for acknowledging that, because that is the reason why we are involved. Of course, we get, you know, name promotion and brand and all that, but ultimately it's a payback, if you like, because of the loyalty we have through our customers. I represent the FBD Trust, which is an element of the insurance company, but within that we rely on the profits, obviously, from the insurance company. But look, it's a wonderful association. It's been very professionally managed and run very, very smoothly and very efficiently and effectively. And I think, you know, this whole Simple Stadium arrangement, which is another part of the county board, has also worked out very well for both sides. And I know that the FBD organisation throughout the country look to what's going on between ourselves and Tipperary GAA and saying maybe we should have this in other counties. So I'm saying, for the time being, like for my time, it'll do fine. We'll just keep it for Tipperary.
And Michael, as you said, you're chairman of FBD Trust, and we're putting our trust in you tonight to do the draws, and I'm sure that everything will work out swimmingly.
I have nothing up my sleeve, I assure you, and the draw, the background, everything is in order for a very straightforward draw, and it'll be very interesting to see who comes out in the various groups later on. And I'm really looking forward to a good summer hurling and football.
That's great, Michael. Well, Michael, as I said, Michael will be doing the draws for us as we go through the evening. And why not, maybe we'll kick on and we'll start with our first draw. And our first draw of the evening is the new Premier Junior Football County Championship. And maybe to go through the draws before we get into them, County Secretary of the County CCC, Tom Maher, maybe Tom, you might just run through the draw for everybody before we start.
Yeah, Jonathan, it's the Premier Junior Football is the first year of this competition, so a lot of clubs will be looking forward to this. There's 7 teams involved. We'll have 2 groups, 1 group of 4, 1 group of 3. In the drum we have 7 clubs, and we have a bye, so the bye will decide which group will have the 3 teams.
And we'll run through the draw, so there's 2 groups, so we'll do the first team out will be in group 1, the second team out will be in group 2, and so on. Okay, Tom, well,
yeah.
why not kick on so and we'll get along with the Premier Junior Football draw. Okay, Michael?
Yep. So the first team out is Father Sheehy's.
Father Sheehy's. So Father Sheehy's are the first team out in Group 1. So now we'll have the first team in Group 2, and Michael is just getting it out of the egg, and the team is?
Mile Rovers.
Mile Rovers. So Mile Rovers, of course, very familiar to football in South Tipperary and, of course, County Tipperary as well. So they're Team 1 in Group 2.
Lockmore Castleiney.
So Lockmore Castleiney. So Lockmore Castleiney will join Father Sheehy's in Group 1. J.K. Bracken. So Lockmore Castleiney is mid-neighbours, so they'll go into the second team in Group 2, along with Mile Rovers so far. Cashel King Cormac's. So Cashel King Cormac's joining Lockmore Castleiney and Father Sheehy's in Group 1.
And
Abide, so the Abide team. So the Abide team then goes in into Group 2. So that means that Group 2 obviously now will be the group of 3. Sean Tracy's from West Tipperary. They'll be in the group of 4, along with Cashel King Cormac's, Lockmore Castleiney and Father Sheehy's. And the last team out into
team out is Clonmel Oak.
Clonmel Oak. So Clonmel Oak will be in the group of 3 with their neighbours, Mile Rovers, and mid-Tipperary team, J.K. Bracken. So there you have it. That's the draw for the Premier Junior Football Championship for 2024. So maybe we'll turn now to our panel and we'll have a little chat about that, lads. On our panel for the football discussion this evening, we have Michael Dundon, Paul Fitzgerald, of course, from Federt and indeed involved with the Tipperary senior footballers this year, and Tipperary County Football Secretary Alan Maloney. So lads, maybe I'll start with you, Michael, if you just maybe your thoughts on the draws.
Well, it's quite interesting. Obviously, you have to factor in that in the case of Lockmore and J.K. Bracken's, it's their second teams that are there. This isn't their first 15 or whatever. So you would say that just looking, without going into either group specifically, you say obviously the teams who are fielding their first 15 in the competition would have an advantage. In Group 1, you know, a team like Father Sheehy's, who were not that long ago were a prominent senior team, to be back at junior level now, they will be certainly trying to get up a grade out of it. And Cashel, you have the same thing. Cashel should always be able to compete at a higher level than junior if they were committed to the football as they should be. And Sean Tracy's had been making great strides in junior football in recent times. So that's a very open. Group 1 is certainly very open, and it wouldn't be easy to pick a winner out of it. But I wouldn't like to wager anything on any of the 4 teams that are in it. Lockmore's second team would be formidable. Lockmore have a great depth of talent going back to there, and there's no club better at recycling players than Lockmore. So that group is very open. So it is. If I was to pick someone, I think Sean Tracy's could be a surprise packet and could come out of that. In Group 2, you have just the 3 teams, which is going to make it more difficult. So if you lose a match, you're on the back foot, very much on the back foot straight away. Bracken's is their second team, which leaves them at a disadvantage. So, and of course, Mile Rovers will be their second team as well. So you'd say on that basis, it'll be Clonmel Oak should have the advantage in that it'll be their first 15, and it'll be interesting to see how they're going to go, given that they're in competition with the likes of Mile Rovers and Commercials in the south, in the town of Clonmel. if I was a guessing man again, I'd be inclined to go for Clonmel to come through on that side.
Okay, and Paul, just turning to yourself, as Michael just mentioned there, that does leave a kind of a mouth-watering contest there between neighbours Mile Rovers and Clonmel. There's nothing, there'll be nothing left to spare in that game anyway, that's for sure.
No, that'll be an interesting group, being only 3 teams in it. So Clonmel, I suppose, would feel very unlucky last year to be relegated, so they'll be hoping to bounce back. Mile Rovers always competitive. Same with Brackens as well. We need to have a few players filtering, maybe going between senior and back to the other teams. So that'll be a very, very interesting group. The other one then, I suppose, good to see Tracy's there. Sean Tracy's great year last year. Good to see Cashel back, and Father Shees. They'll probably use it as a chance maybe to rebuild again and try and make the step back up again to intermediate. So all very interesting, yeah.
And Alan, your thoughts on those 2 groups?
Yeah, I'd be the same as the lads, I suppose. As we said before, we're starting into the unknown here. It's a new competition. You have 5 of these teams that would have competed in intermediate grade last year. The 3, I suppose, senior clubs within there would have struggled as it went on, as they lost players, as Paul alluded to. If you were to push me on potential winners, it's Tracy's and Cashel. I'd give Cashel a go. But I'd also just note that Clonmel and Shees, you're starting to notice them having players on the minor and under 20 tip teams, and they're starting to come again, really. Like the minor being an example, where Clonmel having 2 lads on it and the 20s, something we didn't see there for a few years. So if you were to push me on a winner of it, I'd nearly go with Cashel coming back in, depending on how obviously they're going on other codes, but I give them that they have the footballers to pull it out in the end.
Perfect. Well, look, that's the thought of the panel for the Premier Junior Football Championship. And as I said, it's the inaugural football championship in Premier Junior in 2024. So maybe at this point now I might bring in the chairman of the Tipperary Football Committee, Fergal MacDonald, just to have a little chat all around football and how things are going at the moment. Fergal, thanks very much for joining us this evening.
Thanks, Jonathan.
So Fergal, I suppose your first year as chairman of the Football Committee, busy times, being involved, trying to get, I suppose, inter-county teams out there on the fields, and there's a lot of work involved.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's been very busy 3 to 4 months in the row now at this stage of that. There's a lot of activities going on with the various county teams, and then setting up the club championship now coming up as well at the same time with that. So a lot going on, but it's good to be involved in it, put like that, and it's very much a very good learning curve as well at the same time.
And I suppose good times for underage football in Tipperary. The minors and the under-20s, the minors have won all their games. The under-20s won all but 1 game, and of course they'll head down to Kerry next week to take on the might of Kerry in the under-20 championship with a place in the Munster final at stake. And the minors have gone very well, and defeated Clare last night in Ardfinnan, and they'll take them on again now in 2 weeks' time in the Darcy Cup final.
Yeah, minors have a very good panel there, and they're well coached, good management team over them. They're going well. They're going to play Clare now in the Darcy final in 2 weeks' time. So, and the winners of that then will play the losers of Cork and Kerry in the Munster semi-final. So yeah, they're going good. They're been very competitive. They really stepped up the gear. There's some lovely footballers on that, so it's good to see progress and those players being developed, and hopefully we see them coming through as well in the near future. With the under-20s, I think it's been a great this year now. They've got a lot of round robins games this year in, so I think they're heading for their 6th game this year. For the last number of years, if they lost their first game in the Munster Championship, that was it. It was gone. It was a straight knockout. But with the round robin series coming in, you can see these players after developing and improving as in every game that they've took part in. And so yeah, look, they go down to Kerry next week to play Kerry down in Tralee. Look, they shouldn't fear them. Look, Kerry are Kerry. We all know what they're like. I'll ask the boys to go down, have a cut off them, see how the result goes. Look, never know. Could end up in a Munster final yet, but look, it's a tall order, but look, we wish them the best of luck at that, and all we can ask them is go down and give them their best shot at it.
And of course, I suppose it's not all about on-field activity as well. I know you've an event planned for later on in the summer where you hope to bring all former Tipperary football players from minor right up to senior that have played with Tipperary to an event, I suppose a reunion sort of an event, and to acknowledge their contribution and what they have done for football in Tipperary.
Yeah, definitely. It's we've asked about clubs to come back with all players that have played for Tipperary at the various grades down through the years. So we like to compile on others, at least they're in the archives as it is. That way we want to make sure that we capture everybody that has played upon the jersey for Tipperary over the last number of years of that. Yeah, so we'd like to have a whole event. When that event will be, not 100% sure whether it be this year or early next year. That we'll wait and see, and we'll see when is the most suitable date for it.
Okay, well, Fergal, thanks very much for joining us this evening, and we'll continue on now with our next draw. And our next draw is the Intermediate Football Championship.
Forward now, away they go. They have a chance. It's kicked in there. It's a goal! It's a goal!
Here we go. Penalty taken by that man. Mickey Lyons has put the ball into the back of the net. Space run into. Can he draw free? What can he still go? He does. He gets shot a goal. Oh, what a goal! An unbelievable goal by Jack O'Halloran. We were just out now. Paulie O'Shea. Paulie got a fight for the now. Here's Leon Kennedy. Can he make a miss? Oh, he's missed a couple of minutes ago. Leon Kennedy. Mikey Lyons puts that ball over the bar. And Graham Walker in the lead for the first.
So the Intermediate Football Championship for 2024 will have 2 groups of 4 and 1 group of 3. And again, Tom Maher, we might just get you to run through that competition for us, please.
Yeah, in the intermediate we have 3 different seedings. We have seeded 1. There's 4 teams seeded 1. There's all the teams that are here. I think you have them there.
We can go. Seed 1 in the Intermediate Football, Airog and Carty, Carty Boris and Rockwell Rovers.
Yeah, and then seed 2.
Seed 2 are Galtee Rovers, Aherlow and Thurles Sarsfields.
And then seed 3.
Seed 3, Clonmel Commercials, Feathert, Golden Kilfeacle, Mine Temple Toohey and CJ Kickham's Mullinahone.
Yeah, and in Group 1 you'll have 1 first seed, 1 second seed and 2 third seeds. In Group 2 you'll have 1 first seed, 1 second seed and 2 third seeds. And then in Group 3 you'll have 1 first seeded team, 1 second seeded team and 1 third seeded team.
Okay,
so
Tom.
you have 11 teams overall.
Perfect. So we'll continue on with the draw. Michael, I'll ask you to draw the first team in Group 1, which is Seed 1.
First team is Carty Boris.
Carty Boris, and Carty Boris, of course, last won the County Intermediate Football Championship in 2019, and they have joint managers this year with Brian Moran and Pat Carey. First team now in Group 2.
Rockwell Rovers.
Rockwell Rovers. So Rockwell Rovers are the first team in Group 2 and they are managed this year by Niall Kelly. And our first team obviously then in Group 3 should be...
I'm in Group 1.
Yeah.
Is Airog and Carty.
Airog and Carty, yeah. So Airog and Carty and managed this year by none other than Conor O'Brien, and they last won the Intermediate County Championship in 2001. So now we're moving on to our second team in Group 1.
Galtee Rovers.
Galtee Rovers. So Galtee Rovers are the second team in Group 1 and they join Carty Boris. Now on to second team in Group 2. Thurles Sarsfields. So Thurles Sarsfields, they will be the second team in Group 2 and they had a fantastic year last year in intermediate football, had a very, very good run of the year, and I'm sure their managers, Peter Creedon and Declan Costello, will be hoping that they can go one step further this year and maybe bring home a football title to the Cathedral Town. They last won the Junior A Football County Championship in 2022.
Aherlow Intermediate.
So the next team then is Aherlow. So Aherlow are the second team in Group 3. Aherlow this year managed by Aidan Kelly. Aidan Kiley, I beg your pardon. So now we're moving on then to our third team in Group 1.
Mine Temple Toohey.
Mine Temple Toohey. So Mine Temple Toohey will join their neighbours, Carty Boris and Galtee Rovers, and this year Mine Temple Toohey are managed by Phil Bowe. Now our third team in Group 2. Feathert. So Paul Fitzgerald's team, and I think Paul is involved with this team as well in Feathert this year, managed by Tommy Sheehan. And I see that the captain for the Feather team this year is none other than Jody Sheehan. So 2 Sheehans heavily involved in that team.
Next.
Yeah.
Clonmel Commercial.
Clonmel Commercials. So Clonmel Commercials are the 3rd team in Group 3, and they joined then Airog and Acarty and Aherlow. So that's Clonmel Commercials, and manager, the great Philly Ryan, who played many great games with both county and club over the years.
Kickham's Mullinahone.
So CJ Kickham's Mullinahone then are the 4th team in Group 1. So CJ Kickham's Mullinahone joined Mine Temple Toohey, Galtee Rovers and my Carkey Burris.
And the last one out, Golden Kilfeacle.
Golden Kilfeacle. So Golden Kilfeacle then are the 4th team in Group 2, and they join Feathert, Torres Sarsfields and Rockwell Rovers. So quite an interesting 3 groups there, guys. If we can get your thoughts on it, maybe this time I'll turn to yourself, Alan. Your thoughts maybe on Group 1, Mike Carkey Burris, Galtee Rovers, Mine Temple Toohey and CJ Kickham's Mullinahone.
Yeah, I suppose the first thing that jumped out when I looked at it overall, Jonathan, is if you told me that the seed 2s were seed 1, I wouldn't have batted an eye, like Galtee, Aherlow, Sars. But looking at it, I go with Galtee again. I'm looking at the spread of lads they have coming through the under 20s with Tip and stuff like that. And you know, they themselves and Paul beside me, Feathered, have they've contested 2 county under 19 finals the last 2 years at A and B grade, and under 17 at county A as well once. So Galtee should have a good team. But then again, Mullinahone were in county final 2 years ago, and you've Mike Carkey just recently relegated, and mine were relegated 2 years. That's ultra competitive. But I'd put myself on that. I'd say Galtee Rovers and mine coming out of that group.
Okay, and Paul, won't ask you to talk about Group 2, to be fair, so maybe Group 3.
Yeah, interesting group. Again, with a group of 3, can't afford to be losing any games. You know, great rivalry there down through the years between the 2 West clubs, Airog and Aherlow. You know, Aherlow really unlucky last year to lose the county final to Grange Mokler. So they'll be hoping to keep that going. Great club men involved there with Barry Grogan, Cathal Dillon still leading there by example, and you know, Commercials as well, always competitive in the grade and will continue to do so. So very interesting group there, and like I said, you just can't afford to lose any game in that.
Okay, and Michael, obviously then Group 3 you have Rockwell Rovers, your own club, Thurles Sarsfields, Feathert and Golden Kilfeacle.
Yeah, well, just looking at face value, you'd say Rockwell Rovers would look to be the front runners in that group, having been in the senior most recently in that. Sarsfields have made great strides in recent time, but I suppose the question mark with Sarsfields is who's going to be available, you know, depending on what other commitments are the thing. Feathered are a kind of the sleeping giants, if you like, of football. Club with a tremendous tradition in going back the years and that sort of thing, and it would be a great boost for them if they can get promotion. And likewise Golden, who are always very competitive in whatever grade they're in. But just looking at it as a thing, you'd fancy Rockwell Rovers to top the group and come through there.
And of course, that if memory serves me correct, Paul, you can tell me if I'm wrong. But Thurles Sarsfields and Feathered, I think they were in the same group last year. They definitely met, I think, in a game in Littleton, because I remember that Feathered actually wore maroon jerseys. So that's they're back facing each other again.
That's correct. Yeah, Sarsfields won the game handy in the end. As you said, there's 3 clubs there in blue and white, so they all have to get their away sets ready. Look, Peter Creedon's putting in massive work there into Sarsfields. Really good young team there. Golden and Feathered going back, have a good bit of a rivalry there, going back to county final 2016, I think it was. So they'll be hoping to manage both codes there in the intermediate, but that's a really tough group. Look, we've got a few green shoots coming through from under 7 to under 19, under 17 grade last few years, and a few lads filtering through onto county panels as well, which is great. But we have to continue to build and keep building for the future as well. So I agree, Rockwell probably in the pole position there to top the group with their experience they have.
Yeah, and as you said, it's going. I think it'll be a very competitive competition, Alan. I think, you know, if you look across the 3 different groups, the spread of teams and they're fairly evenly matched in a lot of them. There's no real group that you could say, oh well, one team is going to really run away with it. I suppose, as you said, Aherlow would look probably the strongest team in Group 3, but they have to contend with Éire Óg and McCarthy and Clonmel Commercial. So there's nothing for granted there.
No, and I think that's the one thing we haven't mentioned is Clonmel Commercials. Like they've been really competing in the intermediate grade, and if they were even to go into the next draw after this with their second team, they'll trouble anyone because they've got huge, like on the back of a 21 and 19A championship coming through. They've huge numbers coming through on that.
Perfect. Well, that's as I said, a very interesting group 3 groups in the intermediate football championship. So maybe we'll continue on now, and our next draw will be the senior football championship for 2024.
Hasn't managed to win the ball. Like Peters then helps that on. Clonmel have numbers over here. They're bearing down the goal up to around 21. Still going strong. Things have opened up. There could be a goal on here. Oh, and it's finished in the net. Taken up from the 45 and finished really well. And Clonmel
Series put for a bit of ground. Tommy O'Connor. Get on there. Butler inside here. Good running and the shot coming in from Jamie Roach. Fantastic kick.
Pass by Luke, off the right, shot, goal. He had it, a goal. It's a goal for Aaron Ryan. Nope. Turned over here again.
under pressure again, and things have really opened up. And Kennedy and Shawnee outside. He did that. Shawnee O'Connor, cool as you like, opened up his body.
So the senior football championship then will be consisting of 3 groups: a group of 4, a group of 3, and 1 group of 6. So Tom, maybe just run through that.
Yeah, in the group of 1, you said it's 4 teams. We'll have one seeded team, 1 second seeded team, and 2 third seeded teams. Group 2 then is the 3 team group. We'll have 1 first seeded, 1 second seeded, and 1 third seeded. And then group 3 will have 6 teams in it, and we'll have 2 first seeds, 2 second seeds, and 2 third seeds.
Okay, well, let's continue on with the draw for the 2024 FBD Insurance County Senior Football Championship. JK Bracken. So JK Brackens will be Team 1 in Group 1. So they obviously they haven't won the Senior Football Championship to date, and I'm sure the manager Kevin Mulrine will be hoping that this year things will change for them. Upper Church Drumban. So first Team 1 in Group 2, Upper Church Drumban, and of course Upper Church Drumban. They reached the county senior football semi-final in 2023, where they were defeated by JK Brackens. Team 1, Group 3, Mile Rovers. So obviously Mile Rovers had a fantastic year last year. They reached the county semi-finals and final, and they last won the county championship in 2018, and I'm sure their manager John McGrath will be hoping for success this year as well. And finally, Clonmel Commercials. So Clonmel Commercials are the next team out, and they will obviously are our current county senior football champions, and they will be in what group? They're in group 3, the group of 6. Yeah, so they're in the group of 6 along with their neighbours actually. Yeah, Clonmel Commercial. So that's already an interesting group. Now, so the next team out will be Seed 2 in Group 1. So our second team in Group 1 and our from Seed 2. Kilsheal and Kilcash. So Kilsheal and Kilcash, managed by Liam Stokes, they'll join JK Brackens in Group 1. Now our second team in Group 2. Ballina. So Ballina from North Tipperary, a club that are actually providing a good number of footballers to our county teams at the moment. Had a fantastic run last year in their first year at senior football. So they'll face Upper Church Drumban. They'll join Upper Church Drumban in Group 2. So our next group is the third team in Group 3. Killinall. So far that's 3 teams from South Tipperary in Group 3. So we have Killinall joining Mile Rovers and Clonmel Commercials. And our next team now will be going into Group 3 again, yeah. Lockmore, Castellini. So there is, what a group is right. Somebody beside me here says, what a group, and that is definitely mouth-watering already. But of course, not, even though there are the 3 Mile Rovers, Clonmel Commercials, Lockmore and Killinall are so far in that group, it doesn't necessarily mean that they will be actually all playing each other. Now we'll go back then to our 3rd team in Group 1. Grange Mokler Ballyneal. So Grange Mokler Ballyneal will be in the same group as their south neighbours Kilsheal and Kilcash and JK Brackens. And Grange Mokler Ballyneal, they won the Intermediate Football Championship last year, so they'll be hoping to progress that through the groups this year as well. Care. So Care are in the 3rd team in Group 2. So Care join Ballina and Upper Church Strumban. Now our 5th team in Group 3. Ballyporeen. So Ballyporeen joined their south comrades in Killinall Commercials and Mile Rovers, along with Lockmore Castellini in Group 3. And our last team now in Group 3, Arravale Rovers. So Arravale Rovers are in Group 3. So they join Ballyporeen, Lockmore Castellini, Killinall, Clonmel Commercials and Mile Rovers. And now our next team will obviously go back into Group 1. Ardfinnan. So Ardfinnan join JK Brackens, Kilsheal and Kilcash and Grange Mokler. So that's the 4th team in Group 1. So there you have it. That's our draw complete for the Senior Football Championship. And we go through them again. Group 1, JK Brackens, Kilsheal and Kilcash, Grange Mokler, Ballyneal and Ardfinnan. In Group 2, we have Upper Church Strumban, Ballina and Care. And then the group of 6 is Mile Rovers, Clonmel Commercials, Killinall, Lockmore Castellini, Ballyporeen and Arravale. So lads, let's just get to it, that group of 6. Michael, maybe your thoughts. And of course, as we said, while all those 6 teams are in that group of 6, they may not necessarily be playing each other when the draws are played out.
Well, it's certainly an intriguing group. I mean, before anybody is drawn anywhere, the big stumbling block for all the clubs is Clonmel Commercials. They've so dominated the championships over the last few years, and I suppose the ones that nearest came to laying the glove on them would have been Lockmore Castellini. So now the 2 are in the one group, and that's going to be intriguing to see how that will go. But apart from them, Mile Rovers will have a say in how things go. Mile Rovers have been somewhat under the shadow of Commercials for the last few years, but they're always capable of producing a performance that can beat any of the teams that are actually in the championship. So they'll be involved in it. I would say that for Killinall, Ballyporeen and Arravale, it's a tough section to be in. And how the affair is anybody's guess. Ballyporeen possibly look best placed to advance or to make a serious challenge. Killinall, you can never underestimate them because you don't know how they're going to shape up. They can be a threat and have done quite well in football in recent years. And of course, Arravale Rovers have a tradition going back a long way, and they would be anxious to see how they'd advance there. But on the face of it, looking at it, you'd have to fancy Commercials, and I would say Lockmore. Maybe my mid-bias comes through. I would say Lockmore Castellini to come through out of that group.
Paul, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, if you're looking to spice up the championship a bit, that's worked with that big group. Like I said, it depends, I suppose, a lot on what way the draws happen with what games and who plays each other. But, you know, Mile Rovers pushed Commercials all the way last year in that county semi-final. Never anything between themselves and Lockmore. You know, Arravale coming again, Ballyporeen with Connor back as well will be competitive. And Killinall, as you said, are always competitive in it. So that's a really intriguing group. In Group 1 then, you know, Brackens, you know, things didn't go well for them last year in the county final, but they're definitely a coming side, and they'll be really, really hard to beat in that group. Local rivalry there then between Kilsheal and Grange Mokler. And our Finnan again will come good again, I think, because they've done really well to kind of just keep the ship steady the last few years and stay in senior, similar to Care in Group 2. So you'll see them maybe develop again. Group 2 then, Upper Church, really competitive the last few years, you know, county finalists 2 years ago, semi-finalists last year, winning a quarter-final on penalties. So they'll be hard to beat in that group. And Ballina, although beaten comprehensively by Commercials in the quarter-final, had a really good year. You know, injuries and guys travelling probably hurt them towards the business end of the championship. New management up there, I think, with Joe Hayes, former Clare goalkeeper. So they'll be ones to watch again, I think, in 2024.
And Alan, you know, as we said, the group of 6 is really ultra competitive. But you know, the other 2 groups there's lots of matches to look forward to, and I'm sure there'll be lads chomping at the bit to get at each other now already.
Yeah, and I'm actually just trying to work out in my head the group of 6, because I know it was determined by what order they came out. I think it will be Commercials playing Mile Rovers, and then they play Killinall and Ballyporeen, and then it will be Mile Rovers obviously be Commercials, but Mile Rovers would have to play a lot more in Arville. I'm open to correction on that, but I think that was determined by the way the draw came out. So, but the only carrot in the group of 6, there's 4 teams coming out of it. So, you know, I would say Ballyporeen will be knocking on the door and getting to quarterfinals the last few years. Will fancy their chance getting out with probably the 3 big guns within the group. Looking at Upper Church, Ballina and Care, I went to see Care in Upper Church last year. There was 3 pints in it. There was nothing in it on the night. So I think if any of the unseeded teams have a really good chance, it's Care there maybe of getting an upset, you know, against the other 2 teams. They won't fear either of them, despite the fact they have been in relegation the last few years, with the exception of last year. And the other group looks fairly wide open, to be honest. Brackens, Kilsheal and Grange Mokar, Finnan. I just know from my own club, we haven't played Grange Mokar for a few years because they've just come up. Kilsheal is a team we've actually always managed to avoid, so it's something new there. And Brackens, so again, I suppose, look, if you were to go to seeding, you'd be saying Brackens, Kilsheal, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of the other 2 got to the quarter-final there either.
So it's really leads for a magnificent senior football championship for 2024. And guys, obviously, if I was to ask each of you to pick your county champion for 2024, who would it be, Michael? And I'll ask you maybe to pick, Michael, a dark horse as well.
Sorry, well,
just speak up here, Mike.
Obviously, Commercials will be odds-on favourites, I would say, to retain their title and do so. It's hard to see where the others will come. I'm not sure whether you'd call them dark horses, but I think that Brackens have been knocking on the door for the last couple of years and need a break, but they'd have to get a good break to take Commercials. I would say the biggest threat to Commercials are Loughmore Castleiney.
And Paul, your dark horses for the year?
My dark horse probably Ballina, if they can get it right towards the knockout stages and they get through that group. Really a lot of good players there. So yeah, and I don't think you should be calling JK Bracken's dark horses, but I think they have a lot to come there as well for this year. You know, again, a few things went against them in the county final last year. Really good side.
And I know you'll be calling out Finnan dark horses, but who else?
I saw Commercials play twice last year and get it put up to them, and that was against Kilsheal and Arfinnan in the first round, where they actually conceded a few goals themselves, and we ended up being beaten by 2 points. And Mile Rovers in the semi-final again, and Arfinnan put it up to Commercial for long periods. Apart from that, no one laid a glove on them. But if I was to pick one from each season, obviously I go with Commercials first, maybe Ballina as the second season, same as what Paul has said, they'll learn a lot from their first year. And sure, look, I won't ruin it by not throwing in Arfinnan as the 3rd seed. Yeah.
Absolutely, lads. So, look, that's the draw for our Senior Football Championship for 2024. Can I thank Alan and Paul for joining us? I know Michael is going to stay with us for the hurling draws. And we look forward, as I said, to what should be an absolutely fantastic year of football for 2024. So now I'll ask, just before we start our hurling draws, maybe I'll ask the County Vice Chairman and Chairman of the County CCC, Michael Tierney, to just join me for a few words. Michael, thanks for joining us here. Things going well for you so far as Vice Chairman? No tough decisions to have made yet?
No, nothing yet, Jonathan. Very busy. It was a busy spring, obviously with all the pitches and weather putting them under pressure, but we're up and running. The leagues are running fairly well, fairly good at the minute. So looking forward to the draws tonight and onwards and upwards with the championship.
And as you said, like, you know, you mentioned it there, the weather. That has to be one of the biggest challenges that any fixtures committee can face at this time of the year. You know, and with the split season, there's a lot of condensed of games, we'll say, in leagues and that at this time of the year. And when the weather comes bad like it has come, it can lead to an awful lot of problems.
Yeah, it's huge and very, very hard on clubs. Clubs are doing their best to get teams out, both for training and for matches. And they're struggling. They've been struggling for the last couple of months. But hopefully the thing is starting to dry up a bit and teams will get a chance to get out and show their wares.
And I'm sure you're looking forward to the remainder of the draws in the Hurling Championship, Michael, now. We've had some good draws in the Football Championship, and I'm sure that the groups that will throw themselves up in the next couple of minutes in the different Hurling Championships, they'll leave to mouth-watering games as well.
Yeah, great draws in the football, Jonathan, and yeah, the hurling, we're looking forward to it. All the clubs, both in hurling and football, this is a kind of, they've been looking forward to this now for the last couple of months to know where they stand and who they're facing, and gets people talking, gets the interest going. So yeah, looking forward to it big time.
And of course, again, we'll maybe talk a small little bit about stuff off the field. I know that you were involved in a fundraiser in Templemore recently. You were seemingly an expert at handling a snake and things like that. So I'm sure you have a couple of ideas maybe up your own sleeve for later in the year, or whatever the case may be, to try and get more clubs and more people involved and bring in some badly needed funds for the county board.
Yeah, delighted the J.K. Bracken's fundraiser was a success. I won't be offering up my services for that particular one in a hurry again, but no, we have a lot of stuff ahead of us from a county board point of view. We have a lot of fundraising to do, and we're looking forward to it. We have some great ideas coming up. We're meeting the clubs now in later on in this month, and we'll be putting our thoughts and ideas to them. So hopefully, yeah, we've lots on the cards, and we're looking forward to it.
And of course, championship starting now around the corner, and our senior hurlers getting their championship on their way the weekend after next. A reasonably good league. Things probably didn't go according to plan in the semi-final against Clare. Their senior footballers, maybe their league campaign wasn't what we would have hoped, but you know, we have a lot to look forward to, don't we, for the rest of the summer?
We do, and our underage teams, both in hurling and football, have gone very, very well to date, and that's very, very promising looking to the future. I'm sure our footballers will gather again and get going, and looking forward to the Talton Cup. And our hurlers, okay, the semi-final in the league was disappointing, but they had a good campaign up to that, and I'd say Liam and his men are really looking forward to a good campaign in the championship in Munster.
I think we're all looking forward to it, Michael. So once again, thanks very much for joining us, and we'll continue on with the draw. And our next draw will be the Intermediate Hurling Championship for 2024.
In the last couple of minutes, Sean looking inside now for Joe. Joe forward in. Joe, can he get the second ball? He can. He's trying to burst away from the tackle. He takes it on, he's in. Can he get a shot at goal? It's a goal! It's a goal from Money Goal. Joe Fogarty.
Play over them. Need to get quick ball inside. Seamus Lahey, low, he step out of clouds by Seamus. He needs to get blue and gold jersey around somewhere. He passes back to Small Shrine. They need to get this score to really settle him down. And that's over the bar. The first point for play this afternoon for Small Shrine. Ball inside looking to cause a bit of trouble. It's picked up. I think it's Darragh Hickey. Darragh going through his chance for a goal now for Borland. It's a goal! It's the first goal of the afternoon, and it's Borland winning. That man Darragh Hickey did a smart finish.
So the Intermediate Hurling Championship for 2024 is fairly simple, I suppose. It's 4 groups of 4, and just to run through that again, Tom.
Yeah, just 4 teams in the first seed. They include Portroe, who came down from Premier Intermediate last year, and of course Borland went up out of that. So the 3 semi-finalists plus Portroe are in seed 1. The 4 losing quarter-finalists of last year are in seed 2, and the remaining teams are in well, there's seeded, I suppose, within that group as well, seeded 3 as well, but there's just the remaining 8 are not really seeded.
So we'll go through them. Seed 1 then in the Intermediate Hurling Championship is Golden Kilfeacle, Kilsheeling Kilcash, Moneygall and Portroe. Seed 2, Borrisakane, Kappa White, Drummond and Knockavilla Donesky Kickums. And the remaining teams then, the remaining 8 teams, Arravale Rovers, Ballingarry, Carrickdavins, Skehina Rinky, Ballybacon Grange, Clonolty Rossmore, Shannon Rovers and Upper Church Strumban. So let's crack on, lads, with the draw for the Intermediate Hurling Championship for 2024. So our first team out now will be Seed 1 and they'll be in Group 1 obviously.
Right, Jonathan, first team, Golden Kilfeacle.
Golden Kilfeacle. So Golden Kilfeacle, and they last won the Intermediate Hurling Championship in 1995 and this year they'll be managed by Brian Leamy. Second team out now will be our first team in Group 2.
Kilsheeling Kilcash.
Kilsheeling Kilcash. So Kilsheeling Kilcash will be our first team into Group 2 and they have never won the County Intermediate Hurling Championship, so I'm sure manager Liam Stokes will be hoping to change that this year. Group 3, Team 1. Portroe. So Portroe, managed by Jimmy Brown in 2024. They won the County Intermediate Final in 1990, and that occasion they were captained by the legendary John Sheedy. And Group 4, Team 1. Moneygall. So Barack Obama Country, Moneygall, and Willie Green will be their manager this year, and their captain will be Paddy Fogarty. So they last won the competition in 1991. So now we move on to Group 1, Team 2. Kappa White. So Kappa White are in the same group then as Golden Kilfeacle, and they'll be managed this year by former West Secretary Michael McCarthy, and again they have never won the Intermediate County title. Their captain for 2024 will be David Buckley. Borrisakane. So Borrisakane are Team 2 in Group 2 and they join Kilsheeling Kilcash in that group, and they're managed this year by John Egan, and they last won the Intermediate Hurling title in 2010. Second team in Group 3. Drummond. So Drummond managed by Dave Lawler, and they last won the County Intermediate Hurling Championship in 1970. So I'm sure Dave and his team will be hoping to rectify that in 2024. And our second team in Group 4. Knockavilla Donesky Kickums. So West Tipperary club Knockavilla Donesky Kickums will be joining North Tipperary's Moneygall in Group 4. So now we go back to our third team in Group 1. Ballybacon Grange, club of course, under-20 manager Brendan Cummins. So they will be joining Kappa White and Golden Kilfeacle in Group 1. And our third team in Group 2 are Skehina Rinky, down on the Cork-Limerick border down there in South Tipperary, managed this year by TJ Coffey, and the captain for 2024 is none other than James Barry, so more commonly known, I suppose, as a great inter-county hurler with Tipperary and former Upper Church Strumban clubman. Shannon Rovers. So Shannon Rovers are the third team in Group 3, joining North Tip neighbours Portroe and Drummond. So Shannon Rovers managed this year by John Tierney, and their captain is none other than George Hannigan. And our third team in Group 4. Upper Church Strumban. So Upper Church Strumban, they join Moneygall and Knockavilla Donesky Kickums in Group 4. And now we go back up to Group 1, and our fourth team in Group 1 are Clonolty Rossmore from West Tipperary. So managed this year by Tom Butler. They have never won this competition, and I'm sure Captain Padraig Heffernan will be hoping that he and his players can rectify that in 2024 as well. And our fourth team in Group 2 is Ballingarry, home club of County Senior Hurling Manager Liam Cahill. So they join Borrisakane, Skehina Rinky and Kilsheeling Kilcash in Group 2. And our fourth team in Group 3, Arravale Rovers from West Tipperary. So they will go into Group 3 along with Portero, Drummondinch and Shannon Rovers. And our final team out, our fourth team in Group 4, Carrickdavin. So all the way down in Carrick-on-Shore, Carrickdavin, South Tipperary, and they're in the same group then as Upper Church Drumban, Knockavilla, Doneski, Kickham's and Moneygall. So that's one team, I think, then in that group from each of the divisions. So if we turn our attention back to our panel to have a little chat about that, and joining me on the panel now again, along with Michael, we have Liam Hogan and Eamon Corcoran. And Eamon, maybe before we start, congratulations on a fantastic win with the Camogie team last Sunday. I know you're a selector with them and heavily involved. And I remember when we spoke on numerous occasions last year, you were always that was before you became a selector and coach, you were very passionate about Camogie, and things are going very well.
Yeah, thanks, John. It's fantastic for the girls, bridging that 20-year gap. Great support last Sunday to get up to Croke Park, and I suppose probably one of not our best performance all year, but to get over the line in a tight game is fantastic for the girls. I'm seeing it firsthand, the effort they're putting in under Dennis Kelly, leading it out as manager. It's great for them. They're looking forward to the Munster Championship now, but I think it's after giving Camogie a huge lift in Tipperary, and it's a just reward for the effort the girls have been putting in, not just in the last 12 months, over the last number of years.
Yeah, and it was fantastic, and a fantastic occasion in Croke Park last weekend. And you know, they really dug it out, didn't they? You know, they were playing, and there's no point in we saying any different. Galway are a very, very good team. So to beat a good team, you have to be an excellent team. And I know that Dennis and yourself and the other management team and coaches will be hoping to work on the performance last Sunday to make it even better. But you know, it's the first piece of silverware in a long time coming back, a national silverware coming back to Tipperary. So you know, things are looking good.
Yeah, it's like anything. I think you prepare for the big game and the big day, and going up to Croke Park is the first time for a number of girls. And the first half didn't go to plan, but like their work ethic, they really stuck with it, and going from, I think it was 7 points to 2 down to go in at half time 8-7, and then to start the second half, a great start, and Karen Kendi stepped up and got a goal. But it just shows the belief they have in themselves to stay going at it. And like Galway, like you've Galway, Kilkenny, Cork, you've a number of Waterford, a number of top teams out there, but to go up to Croke Park and to take on Galway, they were going for 3 in a row, and the girls to really stick with it and believe in it. As I said, it's after giving a huge lift to everyone, and I know the girls, they've the week off this week, back training next week, and then getting ready for the Munster Championship.
And of course, as you said, the Munster Championship coming up now, where you'll play the winners of Limerick and Waterford. So that's something to look forward to as well. So once again, as I said, Eamon, well done, and we look forward to bright days and happy days and joyous days in over 2024 for the Camogie team. And hopefully, as we said, they might go a little one that step that they want to go and bring home that all-elusive All-Ireland title. So well done again, Eamon. And so while we're talking to you, Eamon, maybe just get your thoughts on that draw there that we've just had an intermediate hurling championship, and you know, where you see the good games and the good groups and the good battles.
Yeah, I think when you look through the draw there, there's a number of tough groups there, but I think when you look at the seed ones, in particular Golden were unfortunate last year in the final. Portrude coming down, which was a surprise. Moneygall, I know, under new management this year, and Kilsheelan. So across there, you probably would expect them to come out of the group, but like Drummondinch's second team there, you have Canalty's second team, but there's like huge tradition in some teams there. I'm looking at Ballingarry, a team that like they're thereabouts each year in this, so I think they'll come strong. But I think it's every group is very competitive, and looking at Group 4, a team from each division there, with Upper Church, Carrick Swans, Knockavilla and Moneygall. But I think we're in for a super championship there. Last year, a number of teams, probably Shannon Rovers, Arville Rovers, they struggled throughout the year in relegation, but I think they're going to come back stronger this year again, being dual clubs. But I think overall, it's an intriguing draw just when you look down through the groups.
And Liam, just to bring you in there, Eamon said it's an intriguing draw, you know, so maybe get your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, well, thanks, Jonathan. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Eamon and Michael and Dennis on their great win last week in Croke Park. My thoughts on the Intermediate Championship, and I have a great interest in this, my own club, Shannon Rovers, involved there. But looking at the 4 groups, I can't see anything past the 4 top grade seeded 1 teams to emerge and going all the way to the semi-finals. There would be an outside chance for Kappa White and Ballingarry. The rest of the teams are fairly even, but I think those 4 teams, Portrue, Moneygall, Kilsheelan and Golden will emerge from those groups and make it to the semi-finals.
Okay, and you mentioned that I was going to ask you there as well, it'd be your own club, Shannon Rovers. A strong rumour going around that you're maybe going to make a comeback between the posts?
Yeah, I'm trying hard. Training's going well for me, all right, yeah. I came down here tonight hoping that we wouldn't be in the group of death, and at least we're not in the group of death this year. Last year, Shannon Rovers were in the same group as the 3 teams that got to the semi-final, Kilsheelan, Boherlahan and the eventual winners, or Kilsheelan, Moneygall and Boherlahan. So at least we have a slight chance here of going out of Group 2, and we'll be renewing a great rivalry with Portrue. Portrue, last time Shannon Rovers won a county intermediate title was in '86, and we had a famous battle with Portrue, which went to extra time, a replay and extra time, and in Nina, and we had played them the year before in the North final and got over them as well. There's a fantastic rivalry between Port and ourselves, and I'd say for that game alone will bring a lot of people out to the seat to renew those great memories.
And of course, just before we leave it, Liam, 2023 was a fantastic year for Shannon Rovers from a football point of view as well, wasn't it?
Absolutely, we're over the moon, absolutely over the moon. As somebody said, that no one wanted the job as selector starting out in the year, but fair play to Willie Lennox and John Tierney and Jack Sullivan, and they took it on the task, and getting over Ballina in the intermediate final or the junior final in Blow and Puckon, that was a great start. Tough game, didn't win by much, but we played well. Then our toughest battle was with Éire Óg and Carty in the quarter final, and then we went on to win the county final, and the team improved game by game by game. Now, I have to say that the addition of Michael Dolan from Lura was hugely beneficial to the club. I only hope he would transfer over to us for the hurling. We'd have a great chance at that.
I'm not sure about that, Liam, but
I
anyway.
don't think that will happen.
Okay, and Michael, just going back to the hurling, your thoughts on those groups?
Well, the obvious thing again, Jonathan, is that for Clonolty, Rossmore, Drummond and Upper Church Strumban in their groups, the disadvantage they have is that they have a senior team as well, and the senior team inevitably draws on the second team, and it can be very damaging to the second team, because obviously the players they take are going to be the best players. They're not going to be taking the subs from the team, so that puts them at a disadvantage if the seniors start dipping into them. But as has been said, it's hard to look past the 4 top seeds. They're very strong, and they all have a kind of a track record. Right, Portrue are coming down, they'll be looking to go back up, but the 4 of them have a good track record in the competition, and I would think if there's anybody sort of well placed to maybe ruffle a few feathers, it could be Knockavilla Kickhams. Now they've lost players, as we know, in recent years, but they're still a strong hurling club with a great tradition, and they could make a difference in this competition this year.
Yeah, and so some fantastic, as we keep saying all night, encounters and games to look forward to. So if you were to pick your county final winner, Michael, for 2024 in the Intermediate Hurling Championship, who would it be?
If I was as good at that, I'd be making a lot of money with the bookies. I think Golden, possibly. I would say Golden and Moneygall would be the 2 we could see coming through for the final.
Okay, and Liam?
Jonathan, I would see Moneygall making it this time round. They've been knocking at the door for the last 2 or 3 years, and they've been beaten in games which was played in torrential downpours. So hopefully they like the dry ball. They're good hurlers, and I would see them getting to the final, and I would see Kilsheelan coming in second behind them.
Okay, and Eamon?
Yeah, I'm looking at Moneygall here as well, but I'm probably back in Portrue to bounce back up again. So probably in the final between Moneygall and Portrue, and I think 2 North teams, I'll be looking at Portrue to come back up.
That's great. Well, there you have it. That's our draws for the Intermediate Hurling Championship. We're going to move along and continue with our draws. And our next draw is the Premier Intermediate Hurling Championship for 2024.
And here comes Kieran Grace. Grace taking on Kane Russell. He bounces off him.
Oh, what a goal!
What a goal! He bounced off goal. Into Fatty has a bit of space. He has support inside. Really good ball into Brown. John Brown on this. We're going to pull first time. Yes, he does. And he finished it. Really good play. John Brown ran into the space. It was spotted.
Into the park. That was good on as well. He's looking at tasty ball deep into the corner as well. And over there. Great take. Opportunity here again for Tom Stake. Right over there again. And there you go. That is a sunset.
Super block right. The Turkish men and they come out with Henry. Top off South Rory. Big Rory. Tommy. And the pop in depth inside and the super score if it goes over. That's a score today so far by Tommy Maher.
And so the Premier Intermediate Hurling Championship is the exact same format as the Intermediate Hurling Championship. We have 4 groups of 4. And just to go through that again, Tom.
The first seeds, first seeds are the 3 semi-finalists from last year, and Upper Church Dunban who came down from the senior. The second seeds are the 4 losing quarter-finalists, and the first seeds are Cashel, Cormac, Killinall, Thurles Sarsfields, Upper Church Dunban, and then the second seeds Clonakilty, Carrick Swan, Gortnahoe, Glengool and Burgess, and then you have the remaining 8 teams who are Ballina, Erogan, Carty, Newport, Silver Mines, Bola and Dewalla, who came up last year from the intermediate, Moynton, Petui, Sean Tracy's and St. Mary's.
So there you have it. They're the group, the teams in the Premier Intermediate Hurling Championship draws for 2024. I'm sure there's lots of people waiting in anticipation in the clubs involved to see what group they'll be drawn in. So let's get on with the draw, and Michael will ask you to come forward again and we'll start off. Okay. So our first team out will be Team 1 in Group 1. Upper Church Dunban. So Upper Church Dunban, our first team in Group 1, managed this year by Liam Dunphy, and obviously, as was said there by Tom, they come back down into the Premier Intermediate following relegation from senior last year. First team in Group 2 are Cashel King Cormac. So West Tipperary's Cashel King Cormacs are our first team in Group 2, sorry, my apologies, first team in Group 2. Thurles Sarsfields. So our first team in Group 3, Thurles Sarsfields, managed by former Tipperary great Pádraig Maher, and I'm sure that Pádraig will be hoping to win the title for the first time in 2024. Amazingly, Thurles Sarsfields have never won the competition since its inception a number of years ago, so they'll be hoping for success. And our first team in Group 4 then are Killinall. So Killinall, managed by Niall O'Dwyer, will be plotting their way to county final success, and I'm sure our treasurer Eleanor will be hoping that the success and their cup will be coming to Killinall in 2024. Now our second team in Group 1. Carrick Swan. So Carrick Swan will join Upper Church Dunban in Group 1 and is the second place team, and Carrick Swans this year managed by Kieran Reid, and Eric O'Halloran will be their captain. Gortnahoe Glengool. So Gortnahoe Glengool will be Team 2, Group 2. Gortnahoe Glengool this year managed by Keith Corbett, and of course they won the County Intermediate Championship in 2020 when they bet Mine Templetui, and I'm sure Captain Davy Nolan will be hoping to lift the cup this year as well. And our second team in Group 3 with Tipperary's Clonakilty. So Clonakilty won the County Intermediate Championship in 2015 and managed this year. Giant managers are Jack Kennedy, and the coach is Dennis Kelly. So I'm sure Dennis will be eager to stamp his authority and his mark on the Clonakilty team in 2024, and Captain Bobby Bergen will be looking for success as well. And Burgess. So Burgess are our second team in Group 4. Well, they will join Killinall, and Burgess managed this year by Brian Hogan. They won the Seamus O'Reen in 2018. Now our third team in Group 1. Silver Mines. So Silver Mines will join Upper Church Dunban and Carrick Swans, and this year Silver Mines will be captained by Jason Ford, and our managers Declan Cochran, course, they won the County Intermediate Championship in 2012. And our third team in Group 2. Éire Gannacarty Donohill. So Éire Gannacarty Donohill, home club of the O'Briens and the Foxes, and obviously former great Pat Fox from Éire Gannacarty, and they'll go into the group with their neighbours Cashel Kincormacs and Gortnahoe Glengool. Our third team in Group 3. Newport. So Newport in Group 3 with Thurles, Sarsfields and Clonakilty, and of course Newport managed this year by former County Secretary Tim Floyd, and the captain for the year is Aidan Maloney, and they last won the Intermediate Hurling Championship in 2016. St Mary's. So St Mary's, third team in Group 4. Clonmel St Mary's, and of course we wish Seamus Kennedy the very best of luck in his recovery from injury, and I'm sure his club St Mary's will be hoping that maybe at some stage later on in the year that they might see Seamus back on the field, and as I said, we wish him the best of luck. And they join Burgess and Killinall in Group 4. And our fourth team in Group 1. Ballina. So Ballina join Upper Church Drumban, Carrick Swans, and their north neighbours Silvermines. And this year Ballina managed by Adrian Hurley, and joint captains Michael Breen and David Grace. And they won the County Intermediate Hurling Championship in 2013. And our next team, our fourth team in Group 2. Mine Temple Toohey. So Mine Temple Toohey, managed by Phil Bowe. They won the County Intermediate Hurling Championship in 2021, and they'll be hoping maybe for an improved performance in 2024. And our next team is our fourth team in Group 3. Boherlahan Douala, of course, last year's Intermediate Hurling Champions. And Boherlahan Douala managed this year by Conor Gleeson. And Conor will be hoping to bring his home club to county glory this year. And our fourth team then in Group 4. Sean Tracy. So West Tipperary Sean Tracy's. And they will join Killinall, Burgess and St Mary's in Group 4. So that's the draws for the Premier Intermediate Hurling Championship. So maybe we'll turn our attentions again to that, and we'll ask Eamon, your thoughts on those draws.
I think we're standing out straight away as Group 2. Cashel, Gortnahoe, Éire, Mine Temple Toohey. We were saying it's an intriguing draw the whole time, but every group is so tight. But I've seen quite a bit of Gortnahoe over the last number of years. I think they've young guys coming through. Cashel on paper each year, I think they're thereabouts. They may get the breakthrough every time you play Éire Gannacarty. There's nothing in it. And Mine Temple Toohey, they're coming there. There's two obviously great intercounty players there, so that's a very, very strong group. But also if you look at Group A with Upper Church, surprisingly they came down last year after a great year the year before. Liam Dunphy back involved there. Silvermines, Declan Corkin involved there, and obviously they're thereabouts. And Ballina, you can see them at under 19, under 21. They're a common club as well. And Carrick Swans unlucky last year in the quarter final. And then Group 3 there. I know Dennis Kelly getting involved in Clonakilty there. I'd say he's looking in at Thurles, Sarsfields, Newport and Boherlahan. Great to see them coming up. Another tight group. And Group 4 there. I said they're all tight groups, but then you look at Killinall, Burgess, St Mary's and Sean Tracy's, and you rightly said we wish Seamus Kennedy the best of luck. Hopefully as the year goes on we might see Seamus back there. Burgess, thereabouts every year. And Killinall, disappointing last year, but I think they might be bouncing them this year, so that's going to be another very, very tight group.
Yeah, indeed it will. And Liam, your perspective on that, as Eamon said, you know, I suppose we're repeating this down over the night about these groups, but I think that just shows the championships that we do have here in Tipperary, that there's no standout real team that you can say are going to run away with any match.
I would agree with you, Jonathan. Yes, there's very little between the best and the weakest, if I could say that. Looking at the groups there, I would say Upper Church in Group 1 will definitely come back. They were very unfortunate to be relegated last year. They had done very well the previous year in the county championship, and I would tip Ballina to come out with them. I think Ballina have lots of talent. Just to get it to come together on the day, they've always been thereabouts, but just getting bet by those few points in every game. And I would give them a great chance to get into the last 8 this year. Cashel are always on everybody's lips, and this year I would see no difference. Rogan McCarthy relegated there 2 years ago. Have they enough to come back up again? I'm not too sure if they have. Michael Tipperary, he disappointed me last year as well against Ballina, depending very much on Garrod Connors from Freeze, and he had a fantastic game against Ballina up in Bursley there one evening I was at it. And I would be giving Gorton Hood a nod to get out with that group with Cashel. In group, you can't look past Torres Sarsfields. They were fantastic last year in the final. There was only barely a puck of the ball between themselves and Laura, and if you have to have all their players again, they will be very hard to beat. Again, Clonakilty last year were so unlucky against Laura. They had played a fantastic game against Laura in Nina. Very, very unlucky. They have a lovely style of hurling, and I would give them a chance to come out with Torres Sarsfields in that group. And Killinall again, another team which flatters to deceive. Sorry, Hurling, but plenty of talent there as well. And I thought, looking at them in their first round last year against Portrue, they really absolutely demolished Portrue. And I thought, no, this is going to be their year, but things didn't pan out from it. And lots of talent there. And it's hard to know what about Burgess. They promise to deceive a lot of the time. If they can get all their eggs in a row, they're a very difficult team to beat. As long as the championship goes on, St Mary's would miss the loss of Seamus Kennedy. I would have given them a great chance if he was hurling. Sean Tracy's are always difficult to beat. So that's the way I look at the groups at the moment. Who will I pick to win the final? I think I have to give it nod to Upper Church. I don't think that they'll be gone down for too long.
Okay, thanks, Liam. And Michael, just I suppose something that came into my head there looking at the draws, it brings back Group 3. There was, I remember there have been many great battles and great games between Torres Sarsfields and Borla and Duala, and here we see them in the same group again this year.
That's kind of going back to old God's time, I think. When
well, that's
maybe
that's why I waited to speak to you about it, Michael.
Or serious opponents at senior level. But in the overall thing of it, to me, it's hard to look beyond Upper Church. I mean, there's no such thing as a team shouldn't be there, but on paper you say Upper Church were very unfortunate last year with the way things went. And it will be a challenge for them to come and win out the championship, because when you drop down a grade, it's never that easy to get back up. I would see Killinall as, if Killinall produce what they're capable of producing, I would see them as the biggest threat to them. Sarsfield's situation will be, the caveat there is how many players will the seniors take and who they take, and they did very well last year. They got to the final and lost in a replay, 2 very good games with Laura, and were edged out narrowly in it. But Clonakilty beat Sarsfields. I was at the match out in Killee, I think it was, and Clonakilty beat Sarsfields and beat them well. And at that stage, was in the early stage of the competition, Sarsfields had 2 or 3 players who figured with the seniors afterwards. So Clonakilty have been a club that has battled marvellously. They have a small base in terms of player number, but they've always done very well. And it'll be interesting to see what influence Dennis Kelly will have on them. Borlan, newly promoted and that sort of thing, they've had a lot of success at underage level. So they have a good crop of players coming through. Whether or not they're ready to take a further step upwards at this stage, I'm not too sure. Cashel and Gortnahoe, as you said, they have the quality in their teams. Gortnahoe have been thereabouts every year. But if there's a dark horse in it, I think there's mine. Mine have the potential to play at senior level. They're certainly good enough if they can get their act together. They've been unfortunate in recent years in that they seem to lose players going away for the summer and not coming back. But if you wanted a dark horse for that championship, I would say mine. But my bet would be for Upper Church or Killinall to actually win it.
Okay, well there you have it. If you want my one, I'd be going for Gortnahoe and goal, but we'll see how it goes on through the year. So that's the draw then for the Premier Intermediate Hurling Championship. And our next draw is our big draw of the night. It's our Senior Hurling Championship for 2024. now we've come to our last draw of the night, and of course it's our Senior Hurling Championship draw for 2024. Again, it's 4 groups of 4, and maybe Tom will just run through them quickly again.
Yeah, seed ones are the semi-finals last year, Kildangan, Lockmore, Castleiney, Tullasarses and Tumivara. The beaten quarterfinals, then seed 2, Clonolty, Rossmore, Drummond, Holy Cross, Ballycahill and Rossgrey. And then the remaining 8 teams then are Borrisalee, Kilruan McDonald's, McCarthy Boris, Nina Rogue, JK Brackens, Laura Dora, who came up from Premier Intermediate last year after a great battle there with Tullasarses, went to a replay, Mullinahone and Templederry Keenans. I suppose the one thing we should say here too with the hurling championships, Jonathan, is that the first round is a draw made, and round 2 then winners play winners and losers play losers. So it keeps the competition open for it.
And healthy, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's crack on, Michael. We'll get you to start and take our first team in Group 1 of the 2024 FBD Insurance County Senior Hurling Championship. Our first team, Thurles Sarsfields. So Thurles Sarsfields are first team in Group 1 of the County Senior Hurling Championships, and of course they were the 2023 beaten finalists, and Padraig Maher will be in charge of them once more this year. Team 1, Group 2, County Champions from 2023, Kildangan, and managed this year by John O'Mara, and captain for the year will be Alan Flynn. And our first team in Group 3, Lockmore Castleiney. So Lockmore Castleiney, they were defeated by Thurles Sarsfields in 2023, and new manager in this year, Eamon Kelly from Kildangan, and I'm sure that he'll be hoping to set his mark and set his stall out early with this Lockmore Castleiney team, and captained this year by the 2010 minor football captain for Tipperary, Liam McGrath. And our first team out in Group 4, Tumivara. So Tumivara had a fantastic year in 2023, and they'll be hoping, Ken Dunn and his management team will be hoping to build on their success from 2023 in the upcoming county championship. And our second team, so in Group 1, Clonolty Rossmore. So Clonolty Rossmore joining Thurles Sarsfields in Group 1, and Tom Butler, manager for the coming year, and captain will be Jimmy Ryan Conn. So Thurles Sarsfields and Clonolty Rossmore so far in Group 1. So Group 2, Team 2. Rossgrey. So Rossgrey, another team who had a very good year in 2023, probably unlucky not to reach even farther in the knockout stages of the competition, and they are joining North Neighbours Kildangan. In Group 3, Team 2, Holy Cross Ballycahill. So Holy Cross Ballycahill joining Lockmore Castleiney once again in County Championship group, and this time it's Group 3. So Lockmore Castleiney and Holy Cross Ballycahill. And our second team in Group 4, the Premier Intermediate Champions of 2023, Laura Dora, and of course Laura Dora will be hoping. Sorry, apologies, it's Drummond Inch. Drummond Inch will be the second team in Group 4. So Drummond Inch will join Tumivara. Drummond Inch managed this year by Matthew Buckley, and they will be second team along with Tumivara in Group 4. And our third team in Group 1, CJ Kickham's Mullinahone. So CJ Kickham's Mullinahone, they joined Thurles Sarsfields and Clonolty Rossmore in Group 1, and they are managed this year by Jack Shelley, and the captain will be Mikey O'Shea. And our third team in Group 2, JK Brackens. So JK Brackens into the group with Kildangan and Rossgrey. So JK Brackens, they were defeated last year by Upper Trust Drumban they defeated Upper Trust Drumban in the relegation final in 2023, and managed this year by Shane Keegan. And our third team in Group 3, Templederry Kenyans. So Templederry Kenyans go into Group 3 along with Holy Cross Ballycahill and Lockmore Castellini. So I think that's a renewed rivalry again from last year. And our third team in Group 4, Killerwan McDonagh. So they will join their neighbours, Tumivara, and Tumivara's neighbours, Drummond in the Group 4. And our third team, so in Group 1, Mycarky Boris. So Mycarky Boris into Group 1, their fourth team in Group 1, and Mycarky Boris, of course, managed by Eddie Brennan, former Kilkenny great, so he'll be hoping to set his stall out early as well with the Mycarky Boris team. And our fourth team in Group 2, Éireog Nina Éireog. So Nina Éireog joining JK Brackens and Roscrea and Killardangan. So 3 teams from North Tipperary in Group 2. And in Group 3, Borrisalee. So Borrisalee will join Lockmore Castellini, Holy Cross and Templederry. So a split of 2 mid and 2 north in Group 3 of the championship. So Borrisalee, and of course Borrisalee this year managed by former Thurles Sarsfield's great John Connors. So I'm sure John will be hoping to do his bit with Borrisalee this year. And our fourth team in Group 4 then, Laura and Dara. So Laura Dara in Group 4 with Tumivara, Drummond and Killerwan. And I think I may have made a mistake in the Group 3. It's Lockmore, Holy Cross, Templederry and Borrisalee. I think I may have said Drummond, but Group 3 is Lockmore Castellini, Holy Cross, Templederry and Borrisalee. And Group 4 then is Tumivara, Drummond, Killerwan and Laura Dara. So there you have it. There are the draws for the FBD Insurance County Senior Hurling Championship for 2024. Lads, your thoughts on that? Michael, I'll go to you first.
Well, the first thing I would say, Jonathan, is that as you look at them, you could make a case for any 8 teams, I would say, of the 16. You could make a case for them and say, yeah, they, you know, given certain circumstances, they could win the county final. And even at that, you could throw in a few more. Just looking at the groups, I think in the opening group, Sarsfields and Clonolty probably look best placed to come through in that group. The Sarsfields clash with Mycarky will be an intriguing one, going back to, there's great history between the clubs going back over the years. But Sarsfields and Clonolty would look to me to be the front runners in Group 1. Group 2 will be extremely tight. You have Killardangan, Roscrea, Brackens and Nina. I mean, you have 4 teams there who certainly have aspirations to winning the title. Killardangan, as county champions, you'd have to give the edge as regards topping the group or coming through in the group anyway. But Nina and Brackens were very unfortunate last year. They had a lot of injuries and that sort of thing, which kind of spoiled their campaign. And by the time they got the players back, the damage was done. Roscrea, in their second year back up in senior, they'll be expected to step up a grade this time. But I still see Killardangan and Nina look very strong to come through as well there. In Group 3, Lockmore would be my fancy there. Borrisalee will certainly be anxious to do better than they did last year and have the potential to do it. Holy Cross Ballycal have had a lot of success at underage level and look to be a coming team. The question there is whether their younger players have arrived yet at the stage where they can mix it with the established senior ones. And Templederry will give a good account of themselves, but I wouldn't see them as being one of the teams to come out of that group. The fourth group is a real humdinger altogether with Tumivara, Drummond and Killerwan, along with last year's Premier Intermediate champions Laura. That's very open. So it is Tumivara and Drummond will be some clash, given that they're neighbours and what have you. And then you have Killerwan, who are also didn't have as good a season last year as they had the previous year, and they'll be anxious to make amends. They were missing players last year, and they will be hoping to have them back. So it's an intriguing championship, and it actually underlines the success of the system that's there, that there's so many teams in it with a real chance of coming through. and there should be some fantastic games in it.
Okay, and Liam, I suppose, as Michael has said, some fantastic games. Once again, as we've mentioned that all night. But your take on the draws?
It's an absolute minefield. The 4 groups. To be quite honest with you now, to pick the 4 teams to emerge out of those groups now, it'd be a nice odds, I would say. But just looking at the bottom 4 there in each of those groups, Mike Carkey and Nina Bursley. If we go with those 3 first, Mike Carkey were very hard luck last year. They performed very, very well and beaten narrowly in all their games. Nina Rogue were hit by injuries. They're a real dark horse. If they can get all the races back in a row, they will take a lot. They really will take beating. Bursley were in hard luck last year, and they beat the eventual county champions. You have to remember Nina. And Laura will not mind one bit taking on Killer One and Tumivara. They really will relish that. An all-North championship, you could say. We could move Drum and Inch over the border there for the time being for 2024. It's a real minefield. I suppose if you're going to ask me who's going to emerge, I would have to give the nod to Kildangan number 1. You can't look past Sarsfields. I would go for a Holy Cross. Last year, their performance in the quarter-final was outstanding. Can they go one better this year? I would give them a chance. And I would give Tumivara, who had a great year in 2023 with their underage success in North, and they didn't do too bad in the senior reaching the quarterfinals either. So if you were to ask me, I would be going for Turles, Sarsius, Kildangan, Tumivara and Holy Cross to emerge as the top 4 into the semi-finals.
Okay, Liam, and Eamon, your take on it there. We've left you till last, so you have a good take on everybody else's opinion at this stage.
I won't repeat it, but like compared to last year, I don't think we have a group of debt there. When I looked at last year, we had Turles, Sarsius, we Canalty, we had Borrisalee, and Kildangan in a group, and Canalty ended up going into relegation, albeit they won the West. So we don't have a group like that this year. But like there's like, we're not going to go. It's intriguing, but like when you go through it, like take Group A. I think if I had to pick 2 teams in each group, I think Turles, Sarsius and Canalty would be the 2 teams I would be going with there. Mullinahone was a surprise package last year. I was very impressed with Mullinahone last year, and I think by Carkey we could see them making progress from the success they had underage coming through last year. So it'd be interesting to see where Eddie Brendan brings them this year. Group 2. Been involved with the brackets for a number of years. Kildangan, Neen and Rosgrove, we've been taking them on for a number of years. I think Kildangan, outside the last year, we drew them since we've gone up senior. So those teams have got used to each other. You're right in Nina. Nina had a lot of injuries last year. If Nina get their act together, I think they could be there or thereabouts at the end of the championship. Brackens and Rosgrave, there'll be great rivalry there. Neighbours, and Kildangan, look what they did last year. They have been the form team in the championship the last number of years. Group 3, I think when we look at, for me, Lockmore and Borrisalee would be the 2 teams I would see coming out of that. Lockmore, Eamon Kelly going in with Lockmore this year. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on. John Connor's gone into Borrisalee. Borrisalee with the mix of young guys and a few of the older guys there. And I think if they can get it right, I can see Lockmore and Borrisalee coming out. And Group 4, the 3 North teams. You're right. I don't think Laura will fear Killawan or Tumivara going through. I'm very impressed with Tumivara last year. I think Ken Dunn, Joe Hayes, they really got a lot out of the team there. And Drum and Inch, just watched them already. I think going away from the football, it'll be interesting to see from a dual club concentrating solely on hurling. It's going to be interesting to see how they get on. I think as the year went on, they started strong. They finished poorly last year, but I think Drum and Inch, for me in Group 4, I would be looking at Drum and Inch and Tumivara coming out of that group, but I think we're in for somewhere ahead. And in fairness, Jonathan, you called it out, we have some championship in Tipperary. Like each of the draws here tonight, I think we're struggling to pick who's going to come out. So I think we have it right, and we're all really looking forward to it.
Great, and as Eamon said, it's going to be some championship, and it's something to look forward to for the coming months. Of course, Tipperary GA and our partners Clubber will be bringing you as many matches as we can possibly bring to you over the course of the summer. In 2023, we broadcast 110 matches, club championship games in Tipperary. That's a fantastic experience and a fantastic service that Clubber have given to Tipperary GA and to the clubs of Tipperary and to the supporters, the club supporters in Tipperary and across the country and of course across the world now. and we'll be hoping to build on that with Clover in 2024. Also, if you want to purchase your county board pass, your pass to get you into your club championship matches, those passes are still available from the office here in Lorna Parka. So if you give the girls a ring, I'm sure they'll be delighted to help you out, and you'll have a pass that will get you into all the club championship matches. It's fantastic value for money. So as I said, we have a fantastic year to look forward to in both hurling and football. The draws have now been made. The plans will be put in place by the clubs, by the managers, by the players. So 2024, we look forward to the championships, we look forward to the games, we look forward to the excitement, to the debate, and to the ups and downs of what the championship will bring us. I'm delighted that you joined us here tonight. Can I thank all our guests for joining us here tonight as well. And we look forward to speaking to you once again in the not too distant future here on Tip GAA TV. But until then, thank you very much, good night, and God bless.